Hi everyone, I'm Ken from CryptoTradingKS. If you're new, welcome, and welcome back KS family. Let's run the numbers. Bitcoin currently 36,712, up 0.83%. Ethereum up 0.44% to 24.27. From my 30 plus years in financial markets, I explained the smart money mindset to assist you to be more of a financial blessing to yourself and those you love, gaining real wealth in the process. If you would like daily updates on price movements in the crypto market 7 days a week, 365 days a year, please subscribe to YouTube. If you're going through a life pullback, please know that our love and healing thoughts are with you as a community. You're not alone. The sun will come out again, and there's always hope. Crypto technical analysts understand that CTA, crypto technical analysis, is more than just a skill. It's a philosophy as well. And that philosophy is one of maintaining a positive excellence life trend. Crypto technical analysts understand money, riches, and wealth. They understand when to buy and when to sell and what to look at, what has strength, what has weakness. But this is also an internal journey. Having inner and outer peace is incredibly important. Living from a position of integrity, decency, and kindness is also important. Every day we get trust tests, and crypto technical analysts seek to pass those trust tests every day, having courage and honor, fearlessness, fulfillment, and meaning. These are the things that create a very holistic and happy life. That's all about Rule 781. Crypto technical analysis is a skill, but it's also a philosophy. Rule 45. No alt can escape Bitcoin's gravity. Looking at the market now, we can see that Bitcoin's price action is just below this red area here. There's a lot of overhead resistance. The current price is 36,766. Bitcoin is heading into various resistance levels, and we noted in the previous episode that to get above this is incredibly important. We have resistance playing in between 36,738, we're just a little bit above that, and all the way up to 38,619. When we get to 38,935, this is looking really good. The probability is that we'll head next to 41,933. But what happens if we don't get through this resistance? We're seeing some fairly good positive action, but what happens if it comes down? The next level we would anticipate is around 34,178. That's not to say that it's going to come down. The probability is that as you get into resistance, price will be rejected. That is what resistance is all about, and that's why it's so important to know how to draw resistance lines in. One thing that I see when I look at Bitcoin futures open interest is a really interesting pattern emerging. For example, if we draw a support line through here and then another one from here through here, what are we actually noticing? We tend to get bounces along these particular lines, and we've got increased interest in Bitcoin and the crypto market. I believe we're going to see quite a bounce, and notice how things accumulate near the bottom here. We're getting a similar accumulation period, but it's actually on an upward slant. This is really good. It means more and more people are interested in Bitcoin. It's gaining widespread mass adoption. What I see happening is a bounce that could actually surprise a lot of people. I would expect a big increase in futures open interest over the next week or so. And when you look at open interest, when we get these spikes up, it can be very, very positive for Bitcoin's price. When open interest comes down, when it drops down, we see decreases in price. When it goes up, we see on average increases in price. It's not always 100%, but it's a really, really close, consistent signal. It's really good. So that could be actually something that surprises the markets. Let's keep our eye on it. As always, being a professional, you make 3 in advance probabilistic decisions at all times. You know what you're going to do if price goes down, up, or sideways, and you keep to your word. Having integrity is really important. A lot of people are calling for the end of Bitcoin. I don't think so. Realistically, what happens is Bitcoin, this is the BLX, Bitcoin actually goes up and down each quarter by really substantial amounts. And people don't actually understand or factor in this inherent volatility. I released this to LV6 just yesterday. What we can see here is that Bitcoin's price from the high to the low can vary very significantly per quarter. We can see negative 31% in the current quarter, negative 38% in the past, negative 44.56, negative 55.41, negative 54.67. You get the idea. As you go through this understanding, you can see that Bitcoin is so incredibly volatile. We're always getting very large reductions in price, and that's why it's incredibly important to buy at the right time. Just keep this in mind. Turning to the crypto fear and greed index, we can see extreme fear at 12. When we look across past periods, getting in at the point of extreme fear is always the best thing. It's the ultimate dollar cost averaging strategy. Buying low like this is what professionals do. But unfortunately, so many people from a retail mindset, or those just getting into crypto, freak out and panic and run for the door. They are typically selling into professional hands. Please be aware that if you're selling, just think, who am I selling to? Don't give Michael Saylor your Bitcoin. Just like in life, Rule 28, opportunities reset daily. Every day is the opportunity to begin again with a blank slate, a fresh start, and that is always the case in crypto. Turning to the first aid, we can see Bitcoin has been going along its support line. It's starting to move. It was once resistance, turned to support, and it's being supported on a downward direction. We want to see Bitcoin's price start to equalize out and start to get above these previous points of resistance. We can see Ethereum coming down too. A lot of weakness recently in Ethereum. If you had your 10-5-10 orders in, you would have done particularly well. I'm going to explain a little bit more today about the 10-5-10 concept. When you have a look at the Binance Coin has dropped under its support line, but it's following Bitcoin's fingerprint. So as Bitcoin actually recovers, all of crypto will recover with it. Solana, following Bitcoin's price action. We can see as Bitcoin goes, so does the entire crypto space. ADA, a very interesting quote from M in the comments. I'm not talking to Charles. Charles, get ADA together. But he can't do really much because it's Bitcoin at the moment. I always like to say, if you're trying to figure out what happened to your beloved alt, just point at Bitcoin and say, Bitcoin happened. XRP is selling down just exactly like Bitcoin. Bitcoin's gravity will impact every single alt in the market. This is really important to understand. About 1% of alts will escape, but they will be brought back into line with Bitcoin's gravity over time. DOT is selling down. Luna has had negative price momentum, but it's incredibly done very well throughout this whole time. You can actually see by the chart, here's in blue is Bitcoin's fingerprint, basically Bitcoin coming down, and Luna going the opposite direction. Luna can get really spiky, so it's very important to lower your buy orders down as far as you can go, but always beware of the costs of doing your trades. When we look at Rule 45, no alt can escape Bitcoin's gravity. It's in periods like this that this rule really shines. It's always shining. But in this period of time, people can really see it. We can see Doge coming down in price following Bitcoin's gravity, SHIB as well, AVAX as well, Matic as well, Litecoin, Uni, Algo, and Chainlink. It's really important to understand the power of Bitcoin's gravity. A lot of people don't understand it, and then they just cuddle their beloved alts, and the alt doesn't do as anticipated because Bitcoin is doing something naughty like what it's been doing for the past 2.5 months. Let's have a look at the next date. We can see Bitcoin Cash under resistance, Tron under resistance, Decentraland just following Bitcoin's fingerprint, as is Axie Infinity. We'll come back to Rose later and do a bit of a drill in on that. VET following Bitcoin's fingerprint. Cosmos doing really well. It's standing out as a differentiator. Sometimes you'll find about 1% of the alts actually move in the opposite direction of Bitcoin, but they still obey the directional movement. We've seen, for example, up here, I'll just zoom into this a little bit. We can see this big downward momentum in Bitcoin, that blue line. You can see how it actually follows. But what Atom is doing is over accentuating the up moves. This is really good to see. And this is a sign of a really powerful alt. You want to get into powerful alts wherever you can, because if you get into weak ones, they just tend to get weaker over time. You want strong ones. There is a way of actually understanding the strength. FTT, we can see just popping along with Bitcoin's fingerprint. Let's have a look at Rose. If we don't actually mark up Rose, this is what it looks like. But what happens when we mark it up? The first thing we want to do is basically understand the pattern, the supports and resistance levels. We've done a very cut down version of what we do in the masterclass here. You can see that Rose has a level of support, and this level of support has actually held the price incredibly well. Even though price has come down across the crypto space by orders of magnitude, Rose has done quite well. It's found a level of support and just held around there at the moment. When we first started looking at Rose, it was around this particular time, and we noted that price was coming up about here. We noticed the price was coming up, and it had a very specific pattern of exponentially exploding and then coming down, exploding, coming down. What we just said is it looks like it's going up, but it will probably come down at some stage. We've had some real turmoil in the markets, and it's come down a little bit more than we had anticipated, but using 10-5-10 levels, and that is a way to scale into a trade. It is a really good way to actually accumulate and lower your average buy price, and that is incredibly important. But what is 10-5-10? To explain 10-5-10 levels, it is an actual concept, it's an ideology. For example, if something starts up here at 100% and it reduces down 50%, and then price increases back to the same level, price has not increased by 50%, not by what it fell. It actually increased by 100%. But what happens if price falls more significantly? For example, down to around the 70% level. What does price come back to then? If we just get that about right, that's looking good. You can see it's gone from 100% to 238%. What about if we just extend this a little bit further and we say, what happens if price really tanks down to, for example, around 80%? What happens if it just tanks 80% and then comes back to the original price? What is the percent increase there? And crypto does this all the time. It's really important to understand this is what crypto is. It goes up around 400%. So to understand this ideology, that negative percentages always yield greater increasing returns on the flip side is what the 10-5-10 rule is all about. That's a special call out to Major General George Hammond, a longtime viewer of our community and a really great guy. You will often hear of the masterclass students going through and talking about the 10-5-10 rule. That's because they know the intricate details of how to deploy 10-5-10, what it means. It's a lot of background knowledge which must be accumulated just one lesson at a time. So let's have a look here at Rose. What does this actually mean? We did a probability that we would probably come back to this support line. Instead, we went, that was about a 33.63% reduction. Instead, we came down about 53.57%. Is that a bad thing? No way, that's an awesome thing. The more the price falls, the more price can actually go back. So instead of getting, for example, if it came down 33.63%, when it recovers, it would recover 50%. But when it goes down further, it can recover much more, around 114%. This is really important to understand. What happened if it fell further down, like literally down here? You can see the percent increase is just exponentially increasing. We want to buy when the price is falling. And professionals hold on to paper losses because they know what they're doing. The 10-5-10 is an absolute professional way to trade. It's also the best way possible to invest. Rule 138, all investors become traders every time they buy or sell. Unfortunately, the majority of investors do not know how to trade. This costs them an absolute fortune. The problem is that when the market is green, investors tend to buy and traders tend to actually exit their positions. When the markets are deeply red, traders come in to buy and investors exit their positions. If investors get caught in the wrong momentum, in the wrong cycle, they can literally end up buying at the top and selling at the bottom, and doing this repeatedly. It's a very nasty place to be in. To trade and invest effectively, you need knowledge and skill. What I put together is the CryptoTradingKS Masterclass. It deals with very specific crypto technical analysis, tools and methods that have never been seen before. If you would like to know why I actually created the CryptoTradingKS Masterclass, just come across to cryptotechnicalanalysis.org. I'll leave the link in the description of this video and you can look through here. This is a little video that I put together, and here are some testimonials from some of the people that have gone through. You can just look at your leisure. Hence, returning to the analysis on Rose, we want the price to come down as low as possible. A lot of people say, why don't you just wait until price actually consolidates or does something like that? Kind of normal stock market or Forex investing. The problem is with crypto has exponential price action. By the time you see things turning around, you probably will have missed the move. That's why we've got to be very preemptive, but we're very careful in what we go into in the first place. Turning to the next state, we can see EGLD putting in a bounce in accordance with Bitcoin's gravity. It's so important to understand how Bitcoin's gravity actually impacts your alts. ICP made a beeline for its resistance level and then has sold off. We need to be really careful of some particular cryptos. The best risk management that you can have is often just picking the right one. And that's more easily said than done, but there are ways to do it. Let's have a look at Sand. Sand is coming back into a consolidation area. Filecoin is a really good project, but the technicals override fundamentals, and this is another thing that catches a lot of investors by shock. For example, you can go into any particular project and read all the documentation, tick all the boxes, and then the technicals will go against you. That's why all investors should know how to trade. Traders actually specialize in reading charts. We can see Filecoin has been under a lot of duress. If you actually look at this, let's just do a really quick analysis. Maybe I'll turn the magnet on so we can get a better indication. From this point down to the bottom, Filecoin has decreased 84.38%. Now, if Filecoin comes back, you know what those percentages will mean. It will do really, really well. But these are the particular projects that I would not even touch. If you've got so much negative price momentum, selection would say your selection criteria should get rid of any project like this. If you're a trader, if you're a long-term investor and happy to hold through an 80% reduction, it's absolutely fine. But a trader should not touch it. It's just too weak at the moment, and we hope it will turn around. Filecoin is a really, really good project. CHR just going through Bitcoin's gravity as well as the total crypto market. Theta doing the same thing. Ethereum Classic following Bitcoin's fingerprint. And then when we look at NEAR, we can see NEAR's got a bit of power in it. This is what we always look for. We want to see things that actually, when Bitcoin turns around, they turn around more so. A lot of investors, when they look at NEAR, they would say something like, I missed the bottom, I've lost the opportunity. That is not how traders think. Traders are always buying in levels, and the larger the money that the trader has, the more levels that they buy in. It's really important to also understand, if you're just getting started in trading, you don't need a lot of money. You just need to develop the right skill and just scale up. You can start with $10 a level, where others may start with 1,000 or 10,000. It doesn't matter what people start with. What really matters is getting the skill. Once you have the skill, you can just scale. And that scaling makes crypto technical analysis one of the most highest paid professions in the world. Having a look at the community favorites, we can see VRA, Veracity, is still under resistance. Icon is doing pretty much what Bitcoin is doing, bypassing a once level of resistance, turning it to support, and starting to bottom out. Could be interesting to look at Icon. Sushi is still under resistance. IOTA is under resistance. But what did we see here? What happened to these cryptos? Bitcoin happened to these cryptos. So long as you understand that, you're on the right side of the trade already. Loopring is coming down in price, but it has rallied really substantially over the past session and a half. Why is that? Because it is a very powerful crypto. That's why we go into these particular cryptos. Let's have a look at RSR. RSR is just dropping. It's just following Bitcoin's fingerprint at the moment, as is Audio and also Cartesi. Before we cross across to the community comments, I thought it could be nice to go through the news on Bitcoin. We call this newbie news sentiment analysis. The idea is that we're just looking at these particular news headlines as somebody completely new to the crypto space. I'll just zoom in here a bit for you. That's a little bit better. Bitcoin price news live. Crypto market rebounds as Elon Musk makes McDonald's plea. What a load of rubbish. It's got nothing to do with Elon. What we actually see is this is just a technical bounce, and we would anticipate it. Of course, Elon from time to time has actually managed to time his tweets really, really well. But the market is not moved by Elon. A lot of people think it is, but it is not, absolutely. For example, when Tesla said that they were going to bring in merchandise and it could be paid through Doge spiked, but nothing realistically happened to Bitcoin during that time. It's really interesting that the news stories always pull out some kind of correlation that generally doesn't exist. And we can see there's been some other spikes that were occurring inside Doge. Basically, Doge is the focus for Elon. And we can see that there's been some fairly good improvement in Doge, but that's actually just related to the improvement in Bitcoin. That may come as a shock to many people that Elon is not controlling the crypto industry, but how could he? Okay, inside a Bitcoin mining facility in Niagara Falls. Wow, that sounds like a bit of fun. Bitcoin whales to take advantage of the market crash to gobble up millions in Bitcoin. Absolutely, they're doing it all the time. That's what smart money does. I'll actually show you a particular wallet that's doing that. What we see here is the third largest wallet. And look at this accumulation of Bitcoin all through the dips, like here, all through the dips, and selling when price is coming up. This is what whales do. Smart money, institutional investors think like this. It's the absolute opposite of retail thinking. And the smart money mindset is what I teach inside the CryptoTradingKS Masterclass. The link is in the description of this video. You can see this particular wallet has been accumulating Bitcoin like absolutely crazy. Tens of millions of dollars being bought just day on day on day. This is exactly what smart money does. It's literally the retail hands are selling into smart money at the moment, and you can see there's a lot of buying occurring. And I believe that things will turn around and we'll see a very big spike in open interest, and that will push and liquidate so many short positions. Another really interesting story. What is Bitcoin mining? Not so much about this story, but the concept of the Bitcoin miners holding on to Bitcoin and then just literally holding it because it makes so much sense. There's only 21 million of them. It's a fixed supply. Of course, it's going to get far, far more valuable over time. It's just simple economics. Let's have a look at some more. Bitcoin's dead cat bounce? Question mark. There may be signs that indicate price bottoms. Absolutely. We need to keep our eye on how Bitcoin is actually progressing. We know that we're coming up to some fairly steep resistance. What we're seeing is Bitcoin's price is actually starting to get through that resistance, but it has quite a few levels to go. When it's on this other side, 38,935, it will mean that all the sellers that are pushing price down in this particular area, they've been exhausted because the buyers have taken them out of the market. Then we'll look up to our higher lines, 41,933 and around 44,000. Always have your three strategies in your mind. What will you do if price comes down, goes sideways, or goes up? You really need to have those strategies. All smart money investors and traders start with that. Let's have a look at the next story. Don't forget, what we're doing here is newbie news sentiment. That is, for example, a person is really new to the crypto market. They're a newbie and they read this particular headline. Bitcoin claws back from crypto crash, but one bear case sees 14,000 as the next stop. Oh my goodness. When we look at Bitcoin's price volatility, we can see Bitcoin from high to low can vary substantially just within a 3-month period. Negative 31, negative 38, negative 44, negative 55, negative 54, negative 64. This is normal. Bitcoin's price action is really, really volatile. To understand where the lower boundary is, we go into the KS model. Masterclass students, this is shared, this live chart in TM2. What we can see is this lower boundary, this green area, which means buy, buy, buy. That's the green. That holds Bitcoin's price action very well over a substantial period of time. What is that green area telling us right now? It's telling us a price of 26,031. That's just up in this corner. When we see 26,031 and when we compare it to 14,000, I don't know where the 14,000 comes from. Probably some kind of Forex technical analysis or stock market technical analysis applied to crypto. And that is not the way to go. Crypto does not obey stock market technical analysis or Forex TA. It just doesn't care about them at all. That's why I developed a completely crypto specific branch of technical analysis, crypto technical analysis, and that's taught through the masterclass. You can see if people actually listen to stuff like this, they could be in a lot of trouble. McDonald's trolls crypto community on Bitcoin crash. Well, everybody needs a hobby. Drop Bitcoin as legal tender. IMF urges El Salvador. IMF, leave El Salvador alone. Such naughty people, aren't they? Yet another solo Bitcoin miner solved a valid block. Wow, that's fantastic. Look at that. A solo Bitcoin miner. Anybody can do it. Oh, we should get into it. IMF calls again. Remove that Bitcoin as legal tender. They're very upset, aren't they? The International Monetary Fund. I guess it's a play on their power base, so they probably don't want that. Actually, the president of El Salvador, named on Twitter as the CEO of El Salvador, was recently buying the dip. He knows what is going on. Very, very clever guy. Sorry, IMF. So what does the president of El Salvador understand that what the IMF is missing? It's Bitcoin is actually the ownership layer of Web 3.0, the next evolution in the internet. And it's when the president of El Salvador is buying Bitcoin, he's buying an ownership stake in the next generation of the internet. He's not buying Bitcoin, he's buying something else entirely. In the last video, the community looked through the relationship between learning and profitability. Flow Exponential had a really good statement. Learning and profitability are related because regardless of how luck plays in, you need to understand to get true profitability in the markets. If you have pure luck, you're sheltered from the learning lessons the market can offer. I think that's a really, really good statement, Flo. Well done. Meditative Mind said, luck will only get you so far. Hard work and consistently learning will take you wherever you want to go. That's just gold. Or should I say, Bitcoin. Malakan Girl, really nice to hear from you. Well done getting out of Zone 1 and Zone 2. Mark says, the probabilistic view on the market is one of the most valuable things that I have learned from you, Ken. Thanks so much, Mark. Crypto No Stress says learning keeps the brain active, and it does. It's a really good thing. Richard said, after a lifetime of learning, I still learn every day. It's amazing that after watching hundreds of your videos every day, there's something new to learn in every episode. Thanks, Richard. What I actually do is I always put something new in every single video, every single lesson in the masterclass. If I don't have something new to say, I'm not happy. I make sure that there's some edge that I can share with you. Richard goes on to say, nothing beats the structured masterclass, which requires a lot of dedication and time, but it is so rewarding. I assure all potential students of the masterclass the time needed to structure and make those videos in the masterclass is a lifetime of work. And what a legacy from a great teacher. Thanks so much, Richard. It did take a lot of time to put those lessons together. There are actually 160 lessons inside the masterclass, and I added 3 more just yesterday, as I said I would. There is a living masterclass section where we keep on adding, I keep on adding live videos, living videos to the masterclass in response to student inquiries and just following up on different things, just keeping you up to date. And the other thing to bear in mind, that the community is actually within the particular masterclass segments. You can actually write comments in any of these sections and interact with the many students that are in the masterclass too. I love how the meditative mind said we are gaining a university degree in applied KS technical analysis. Well done, my friend. I'd just like to say hi to JC Media House. Hi Stuart, thanks for your comment. And Gabriel. I avoided watching the markets over the last 24 hours and I feel so much better for it. It's reassuring to hear that professionals hold bags at a loss. Makes me feel so much better. I must be a real pro. I think that's really funny, Gabriel. And it's true as well. Professionals do hold things at a loss because they have no problem. They know what they're doing. Lucas said he feels a little bit sad that he couldn't buy more on this latest downward movement. And he said previously he made bad decisions buying without layering. Nobody teaches you how to layer out there. It's really sad. A lot of people lose a lot of money because they don't layer. And the crypto market, as we've seen from so many angles, is so incredibly volatile. Lucas also said he feels that he lost a big opportunity. This is really important to not feel this way. Tales from the Man Cave said, don't worry about it. We've all been there. It's all about understanding that opportunities reset every day. I say that because I want people to know they don't need to buy at the absolute bottom. And professionals never even concern themselves with bottoms or tops. They concern themselves with participation. Crypto Turtle said, there's a lot of people out there that expect to make good income, but they don't even spend the money and time for their skills. They don't know what they don't know, and it costs them money. This is really good. They don't know what they don't know. Sometimes information and knowledge can only be shared if the foundations are possible. That's why I created the masterclass. And you can see that there's a lot of content inside the masterclass, and people just go through it one level, one layer, one video at a time, because I pave the staircase to knowledge through each video really, really simply and really practically. And there's always something new to learn in every single video. This is a real big problem. People not knowing what they don't know. That is why some people rely on luck, but luck always runs out. And Badger was saying, education is so important, especially in crypto. Crypto is just so volatile. Without education, you're going to be in trouble. What Badger said is just gold. Thanks, Ken and the KS family. I think you can make money in crypto with no knowledge if you get lucky, but here's the key. But you can't keep it for long without understanding and learning how the crypto market works. Even a broken clock is right twice a day. It's better to know what to do and how to do it. There is a lot to learn, so this takes time. Getting lucky in crypto is unsustainable because the right knowledge, skill, and philosophy is needed. This is a really, really good point. If you're relying on luck, like going into the casino and seeking a certain number on roulette, without the knowledge, the skill, and the philosophy, all of those three things combined, whatever is gained will eventually be lost. That's why gambling is never recommended. It's just a waste of money. All of the courses out there simply superimpose their stock market and forex strategies onto crypto, and this is just another recipe for inconsistency and frustration. So true. Stock market technical analysis and forex technical analysis just do not work inside crypto. This CryptoTradingKS Masterclass is the only course out there that is conceived and invented specifically for the crypto markets. I'm continually blown away by the content and enjoy learning everything step by step from the ground up. Thanks so much, Badger, for your very nice comments. And it's very important that people look to get away from the concept of getting lucky in crypto. You won't get lucky, you'll get slaughtered. A lot of people exist in crypto to actually rip other people off. When I look at CoinMarketCap, there's 17,111 cryptos. You can see these really big gainers. These big gainers, a lot of them are rug pulls. They are literally the place where money goes to die. I'm not saying that these are rug pulls, but I'm saying when you see percentages like this, especially on days like today, you have to be really, really careful. Just only go for quality projects. Of course, you can make money in some of these things, but for how long? I don't know these projects. I'm not digging into them. All I've done is turn highlights on, which I generally turn off because I think a lot of those projects are just scam projects. But when you go for the top names, when you go for level ones, when you go for things that have network effects, and you know how incredibly volatile they are already, and you have the knowledge of how to enter and exit, you'll do really, really well, no matter what the conditions are. And well done, Beardy. I love this. A diamond mine yields a diamond mine. Absolutely it does. Beardy, you philosopher, you. I like buying at the lower end, and better than buying at the top. Beardy made a big investment into himself and my learning in the masterclass, which has been a game changer. I feel more in control when thinking about probabilities, not certainty. Getting away from certainty is incredibly important. I never imagined how you could make profit on the way down. I thought you just had to hope and pray for things to go up. I now realize the importance of where you buy related to profitability. Good on you, Ken. Good on you, Beardy. And a comment from Tracy. Thanks so much, Tracy. If you think learning is expensive, ignorance is more so. What very wise words, Tracy. Tales from the Man Cave. But in terms of trading, I would have had no choice, no chance to do anything except losing money if I hadn't have found Ken's channel. And only the masterclass has really opened my eyes to what is going on. In the masterclass, I transfer my skills from more than 30 years in financial markets and also my background as a first and second year lecturer in statistics. I have a particular eye for how to read charts, and because I have a specific background in IT, technology and invention, I do all sorts of new conceptual frameworks to help people understand more effectively. Thanks so much, Tails, for your kind words. There are so many wonderful comments that I would love to read out. Unfortunately, we just don't have the time. But I would like to thank everyone inside our community. You're just such wonderful, beautiful people. It's just an honor to know you. I hope you found this content useful. Please consider sharing and liking this video if you think it will help others. Thank you very much to our moderators for keeping our community safe from scammers. And I thought what we could talk about in the comments section is your experience with the 10-5-10 method, how it's helped, how you've found it, and any feedback that you could give to other community members. I think it would be really, really valuable for people to discuss that. If you would like daily updates on price movements in the crypto market, 7 days a week, 365 days a year, please subscribe to YouTube. I've left helpful links in the description of this video, including the link to the masterclass. Please remember, crypto is volatile. Always prepare yourself for the best and worst case scenarios. Reality will likely be between them. Stay safe out there, my friends. Take care and see you next time. Bye for now.